Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming back. Woo! Suzanne needs justice. She's not a gone girl. She didn't run off with the person that she was in hate to say it, she was in an affair with. She didn't take off. She didn't get lost on a bike ride. Yeah. This is crazy. I cried when I heard this. I cried twice yesterday. When I found out there was an arrest of the prime suspect in Crystal's murder, and when I found out they found the remains of Suzanne Morphew, let me tell you what, and we have followed this case in the Facebook group heavily since she disappeared. Now, on the channel, I don't like to jump in the middle. But when there is a huge update, I'm all about it. Mary said she didn't get eaten by a mountain lion. Nope. Whoop, whoop. I'm glad you guys are all here. Yeah, yesterday was an insane day. We were hit with one thing after another in the true crime world. But everything that's been speculated about in the last 3 years about Suzanne isn't true. YouTuber said, is Barry Morphew still in Mexico? I don't know, but if he wants to hang around there for too long, I have a feeling the U.S. Marshals will come down to wherever he's at and will drag his ass out of there. Mile High said a bobcat did not bury her in a shallow grave. No, they did not. And everything that has been speculated over the last 3 years, we heard all the psychic theories, right? She was buried under a driveway. She was in a garden, burning building. She was basically an hour south. Old Bear had a lot of driving to do, did he not? Did he not? He was a busy boy. Now, I can figure out the motive. He had means, motive, and opportunity. But some people will still fight and say Barry had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Elizabeth Gregory, welcome back. Let's take a second and tell everyone good afternoon. And I see some new people in here. Make sure you get reminded, because if you've got the time, we've got the true crime. This is such a convoluted case and has been for so long. We have heard a cast of characters, all the people that were in construction and landscaping with Bear. Some people have speculated Suzanne's own daughters. Yes, they have. It is my full understanding that Barry's mother, this is not a new thing, and his daughters are very defensive of Barry. Well, that's to be expected, especially from the girls. You lost your mother, so of course you're going to hang on to your father. Correct? That's exactly what's going to happen. Before we get to it, let's thank our friend Connie for making it rain in here. Now, Barry did have his ass in the ringer and the charges were dropped. That's when people said, see, I told you he didn't do it. I told you he didn't do it. Well, you obviously don't understand how this goes. They dropped it without prejudice, meaning they can pick it up at any time. I get very worried when a DA picks up a case without a body. That's just me. Reason being is they don't get the actual charges they should have, like first-degree murder. I get that sometimes it has to happen, have to make the necessary occur. You have to have a very skilled prosecutor to go in front of 12 people without a body. You do. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for gifting Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Woo! Y'all get your umbrellas. Y'all get them because it's raining on you. So it makes me nervous when I see that. I mean, as if it's really my business. But it does because, we want the hammer to come down on those that have taken someone's life. This case is something else. They met in high school. She was running for homecoming queen. He got a baseball scholarship. They married. It's got an extramarital affair, probably more than one, and I don't mean on Suzanne. Money. Suzanne came into a lot of money. There's a lot going on here. By all intents and purposes, when you see their pictures, you see a beautiful family and what appears to be a happy home. They have the world going for them. But it wasn't that way behind the scenes. Not at all. Oh, A-Wolf, thank you, because I do need this. A-Wolf said, OJ treat bribery money. Good, because between shows as I was trying to get ready, OJ was putting his claws in my notes and trying to shut down the laptop. He wants to play. It's not time to play, OJ. That'll be later. So let's get to it, my friends. Oh, we got a lot of memberships coming in. Thank you, Candace. Connie, Elizabeth. You guys you're making me blush today. So let's look at this because, yes, it was confirmed that her remains were found yesterday. Somebody, whether it's Barry or someone he knows, because I don't believe for a minute that this is random, honestly believe that they got away with it until yesterday. And who would have thought that she was an hour south? This is something else, my friends.
And we are continuing to follow breaking news here at 6. After 3 years of searching, the remains of Suzanne Morphew have been found.
The Colorado Bureau of Investigation says her remains were found in Saguache County and no arrests have been made. The remains were discovered near the town of Moffett. That's about 45 miles south of the Maysville area. That's where Suzanne was last seen.
So let's bring in Denver 7 Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski. And CBI is keen on keeping much of this information close to the vest, Tony. So where does this missing person?
Exactly, Christina. She said they were looking for a 55-year-old lady with health issues. She's still missing. And they came across Suzanne. Seems to me Suzanne really wanted to be found. She's been shouting. She knows Barry has a new girlfriend. She knows her daughters are defending Barry. Not that she would be upset with them. And her remains were found last week. Took them a while to process who it was. I bet someone like Bear has got to be sweating bullets. Thank you, Connie. Connie just sent OJ a bride. Be a good kitty, OJ. Well, we'll see how this goes. Yeah, an hour south.
Information close to the vest, Tony. So where does this missing person case go from here?
Well, good evening, Ann and Shannon. Yes, definitely close to the vest. We've been on the phone with sources, and in the no surprise category, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation closely managing what gets out and what stays inside. 5 days after finding the remains, the CBI confirmed they were the remains of Suzanne Morphew, but the CBI not specifically providing the location or the condition of the remains and saying no interviews. Now, Chaffee County Sheriff, where Suzanne went missing, said, quote, "We are left with many more questions than answers."
Okay, this quote from the sheriff really confused me. I was looking for a one step forward to justice. We're on the right track. So, what condition were her remains left in? And she was an hour south. We are left with many more questions than answers, is what he said.
Which leads us to what's next question. And that question is, in April of last year, the DA dropped murder charges against Suzanne's husband, saying without a body, prosecutors could not successfully pursue murder charges. Which leads us to this exclusive interview on Good Morning America. It was earlier this year with Barry Morphew. Take a look.
Law enforcement, the DAs, believed that they had their guy, and they believe that there's a mountain of evidence against you. There's just not Suzanne's body.
They're wrong. They've got tunnel vision, and they looked at one person, and they've got too much pride to say they're wrong and look somewhere else.
These charges were dropped without prejudice, which means if authorities feel like there's more evidence, they could charge you again. Do you live with fear of that?
Well, I was innocent the first time they arrested me, so I'm sure it's possible. But I don't have anything to worry about. I've done nothing wrong.
Morphew with his two daughters alongside. That was 5 months ago. So here's what we know. We have located the remains of Suzanne Morphew, a sheriff saying there are now more questions than answers. And at this point, we are left to wait for a move by investigators and prosecutors. The world is watching. Shannon?
All right, Tony Kovaleski tonight. Thanks, Tony. And this, of course, is a developing story. We have a team in Salida gathering more information, so we'll have another big update for you tonight on Denver 7 News at 10.
Oh, it's a huge update. Well, I was innocent the first time. Well, dude, no one's going to accuse you, knock on wood, of another murder. So what do you mean the next time? As we know, the only person that you've been accused of murdering is your wife, Suzanne. Suzanne, who has been missing since Mother's Day of 2020. Many bizarre clues came out. Barry had a chipmunk alibi. If you know, you know. They believe he chased her around with a tranquilizer gun, and she had a spy pin on him that revealed her affair. And we'll get to it because he's actually suing. That's right. And I hope he continues that lawsuit. If he drops it, it's going to tell me a lot. And you guys, because you're sharp as a tack, it's going to tell me a lot if he drops that lawsuit. Because with Suzanne being found, it would happen either way. You can't sue somebody without answering questions. He has to answer what they want to know. Let's look at the timeline from when Suzanne disappeared.
Break in a crime saga that's been ongoing for more than 3.5 years, but we want to get you up to speed just in case you are new to this major investigation. KRDO News Channel 13's Emily Coffey is live in our newsroom tonight to break down a timeline that's began way back in May of 2020. Emily.
Yeah, Sean, it seems that every year there's been some new wrinkle in this case. And while the recent discovery of Suzanne Morphew's body won't bring final closure to those following it, it's a huge step towards getting there. On May 10th of 2020, Mother's Day to be exact, Suzanne Morphew was reported missing, having last been seen going for a bike ride along a mountain road near Salida. That was according to her husband, Barry Morphew. He released this video just a few days later as public concern began to grow.
Please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you.
That same day, searchers found Suzanne's bike alongside the highway that connects Chaffee County to Highway 50. And as months went by, investigators revealed that Suzanne had been engaged in an affair with an old high school classmate and that the Morphews had been having marital issues. Barry reportedly learned that she wanted a separation a few days before her disappearance. And that wasn't the only intriguing evidence that came to light. The cap from a tranquilizer dart found in the dryer. Investigators found evidence that showed Barry Morphew traveling to a number of hotels and dumping trash in various locations. Most puzzling of all, DNA evidence in Suzanne's car belonging to a man linked to 3 sexual assault cases.
That I will never understand. Was she given rides to people around there? Because they did. They found DNA, and none of them have been arrested. Only Barry. Again, law enforcement knows more than us. They know way more. But yes, there was DNA found in her car.
It was all enough for District Attorney Linda Stanley to move forward, arresting Barry almost exactly 1 year after Suzanne's disappearance, and charging him with first-degree murder, evidence tampering, and attempting to influence a public servant. Fast forward again to April of 2022, Barry's murder case was dismissed just days before he was set to go to trial, citing problems with the way that evidence was presented. Barry walking away from the courthouse that day victorious with his daughters. Prosecutors, though, leaving the door open to refile charges at any time given new evidence. In May of this year, Barry went on the offensive, suing investigators and prosecutors in his case, seeking $15 million amid claims that the investigation was biased. He also wants the case dismissed with prejudice, meaning that he can't be brought back to trial. That suit still pending. A Salida council member reacting to Wednesday's news.
It's really shocking. But again, we've waited for over 3 years to find out. So again, my thoughts are just with her daughters and her loved ones, and the community is going to be so impacted by this.
Investigators won't reveal whether there was any other evidence collected on or around Suzanne's remains. For now, at least, it's not clear if prosecutors will try to bring Barry Morphew back to trial. If you'd like to review the case in even further detail.
Now, the DNA they found inside of her car, they say, well, I know Barry put it out there, it came from mechanics. What are the odds that you're going to have DNA in your car from a sex offender mechanic? That makes no sense to me, particularly how many times her car had been detailed in that time. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it just doesn't make sense. He certainly wanted her money. He knew she was missing and still took an absentee ballot and voted for her. He marked her name the whole 9 yards. Voted what, come on. Some people will tell you it's because that's how she would have wanted him to vote. And he believes she's still alive. I don't know. Annette said, that's a crime. Yep. And old Bear with the voter fraud, yeah, he got his hands slapped for that. Let's look at his statement back in 2020. Now, a family member put up a GoFundMe for Suzanne. I didn't donate to it. I didn't donate. So I didn't bitch about it. They wanted help with searching. I didn't understand that because you have Chaffee County, FBI, CBI, and I believe they brought in other agencies from wildlife because Barry assumed she was eaten by a mountain cat. Well, Barry put up $1 million of his own money, but did he really? Did he really? To me, sending in the absentee vote was just more control. Her own words were, he's manipulative, he's controlling.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. Your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
That's all he's got. That's all he's got. Honey, we want you back so bad. That's like Chris Watts looking at the camera. And again, I'm not saying Barry did anything to Suzanne. But those eyes were blinking like a dry windshield wiper. Sorry. All right. He is lawyered up, and as he should be. As he should be. Seems to me that over the years, he hasn't asked the right questions. It's always been, if you know, call. If you know, call. There really hasn't been any panic to find his wife. When I see these cases where the spouse or the parent isn't out looking their damn selves, I get a red flag, but that's just me. All right, this is his attorney. And I'm going to guess she was buried because when Bear checked into the hotel, and we'll talk about that, for some reason he thought it necessary to bring shovels into the hotel with him. Again, I'm not accusing Bear. I'm not. I found that was very odd. You're checking into the hotel the day your wife goes missing, and you bring shovels with you. Now, when I use a shovel, it takes both hands and my foot. So who had the other shovel? Also, the hotel room stunk of chlorine. That's their father's job. That's their father's job. They're not going to call the daughters and say, we have found your mother's remains, unless they are the only known relatives, next of kin. Thank you, Joy Callie, for making it rain. We have 5 more Crime Lines and Lies members. Thank you so much. They're not going to call them. So what she's complaining about, she's been around the block enough to know this is protocol. You get a hold of the next of kin. Next of kin is Bear. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go through the attorney's statement again. I would love to know how much money she's getting paid. Barry is with his daughters, and they are all struggling with immense shock and grief after learning today that their mother and wife, whom they deeply love, was found deceased. They had faith that their wife and mom would walk back into their lives again. The news is heartbreaking. Neither the DA nor the authorities notified Mallory and Macy Morphew about the recovery of their mom. Again, they shouldn't. That's their dad's job. From what we know, Barry is as innocent as he was from day one. DA Stanley and law enforcement got it wrong. We hope the authorities will quickly admit their wrong persecution of Barry, an innocent man, to treat the Morphews like the victims they are, and charge the persons responsible for Suzanne's killing. The Morphews would appreciate the privacy during this deeply emotional and personal time. Well, let's see if any of them have a statement. Because if it was my mama that was found in a rumored to be shallow grave in the sand dunes, I would have a lot to say. Let's go back through some of the beginning of this. You know how we do. Back to the Future all the time. A lot has gone on in 3 years in the case of Suzanne Morphew.
Tonight, he is too good at the manipulation. I feel stuck. Those are text messages from Suzanne Morphew to one of her friends. They've been released, revealing new details about Barry Morphew, her husband, who is suspected of her murder. Our Jamie Leary live tonight from our newsroom. And Jamie, you've been working this case month after month. It's just exploded with more than 100 pages of new evidence.
It really has exploded with pages of evidence. We're talking about terabytes of information here. And all of this we've heard in court, but these are images that we have never seen before, has not been released to the public. What you won't find in there is an indication of where Suzanne, her body is, or a single drop of blood. There is, however, a lot of pieces to this puzzle a potential jury is going to be made to sift through. There are pages of text messages between Suzanne and her closest friend Sheila, telling her that Barry is manipulating and trying to pull their daughters into fights. In one text, it appears they did involve the girls. Suzanne wrote, "He sat there as the ringleader the day he cut himself." She's talking about a work injury, and told them all of the things I believe and got them all upset and was just sitting back and egging on, as if he felt justified and happy they were taking his side.
And that seemed to be a common denominator in their marriage. He always wanted the daughters on his side. Always. And her text messages proved it. They seem to be daddy's girls, which there's nothing wrong with that. And it is just my opinion that he has convinced them with what came out with Suzanne having an affair, that she ran off with a boyfriend, not the boyfriend, because they knew where he was. Barry's all over this, in my opinion. C-Star read my mind. Sounds like he convinced the girls their mother ran away. That's what I think happened too.
In another text, Suzanne mentions to Sheila making things work with Barry only until her youngest is old enough to be out of the house. She said Barry's response was, "Okay, let's just tell the girls I'm leaving and how you feel you don't want me." You can see the picture the prosecution is trying to paint with these texts. Within the documents, you'll also see images of scratch marks on Morphew's arm, taken just days after Suzanne disappeared by investigators.
Now, his attorney explained those away as work injuries. You know, he's a hands-on dude. Some of them look like scratch marks to me. Somebody trying to get away from him.
There's also the sheath to the dart cap found in the Morphew's dryer. This is what sparked the main theory investigators have gone with. that Morphew shot his wife with a tranquilizer dart. Investigators have said that cell phone pings or GPS data indicate he was chasing his wife around the house after he shot her. But the defense has time and again poked holes in this theory, pointing out just how unreliable the cell phone data is. And over the last few months in this case, the main investigator on the case was moved off, that ended up resigning due to an internal affairs investigation. The district attorney is no longer the lead prosecutor on the case. The deputy district attorney resigned, and the judge recused himself due to conflict of interest. The trial is still set for May 3rd, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes that would suggest.
Okay, no trial because the charges were dropped. And when I say dropped, without prejudice, they can pick them up anytime. We're going to talk more about the scratches. And on another show, we're going to talk about the pings around the house. Because unless he was doing laps around his own house, which, by the way, is a big, big home, he was chasing someone. And the tranquilizer casing that was found in the dryer is pretty substantial, because I don't think Suzanne, while doing laundry, would say, oh, I need to wash this shell. We know we check pockets. Girls, we know. When we do laundry, we know that we check pockets. We know that. All right, here's Barry at the hotel. This is the day of Suzanne's disappearance. He made many trips to the dumpster to throw things away, and he checked in with shovels. What is that, your comfort shovel? You really need to bring a shovel into the hotel with you? No.
Evidence tonight involving a Chaffee County man accused of killing his wife. Tonight, for the first time, we're seeing some of the photographic evidence submitted in the Barry Morphew murder case. Good evening. I'm Mallory Anderson in for Bart tonight. And I'm Heather Skold. Tonight, a first look at evidence in the murder case against accused wife killer Barry Morphew. The mother of his two daughters vanished Mother's Day weekend 2020. KRDO News Channel 13 Sydney Stell combed through the new photos released by a Chaffee County judge today. She's live in the studio. Sydney.
Well, Heather, Mallory, you can see a photo here of Barry Morphew in a Denver hotel, or a suburban Denver hotel, I should say, on the day that his wife disappeared back in 2020. Investigators say these photos helped show that he made several trips to dumpsters that day.
This photo shows him holding shovels in the hotel lobby. He told law enforcement he was there for a construction job, but they later found out he was not permitted to use his heavy equipment because it was a Sunday. His wife's body.
It's Mother's Day. It's not that far from Salida, Colorado to Denver. So why did he check in on Sunday? And who brings a shovel in with him? Sounds to me, with the bleach and everything they smelled in the room, his room he checked out of, he was probably cleaning them. There was tons of towels around the hotel room, and it stunk of bleach. Some people ask, why didn't GPS pick him up? Why didn't? Well, because it's known that he didn't use his GPS. There's some cars that can turn them off and on, and his phone was in airplane mode. Yep, there he is with his fuzzy comfort shovels.
Hotel lobby. He told law enforcement he was there for a construction job, but they later found out he was not permitted to use his heavy equipment because it was a Sunday. His wife's body still has not been found. These photos show scratches on Barry's hands and arms taken in the days after his wife's disappearance. The court also released photos Friday of.
Okay, hang on.
Show scratches on.
That doesn't look like anything to me with my untrained eye. untrained. No experts here. No, you're not going to get an expert on this channel. Christina asked about the girls. It is my understanding they were in Idaho on a camping trip. Those look like fingernail scratches to me. Looks like somebody was trying to fight Barry off. Maybe it was the chipmunks. I don't know. He said he's always after chipmunks. Maybe the chipmunks did it. But look at that. That looks like nail scratches
on Barry's hands and arms taken in the days after his wife's disappearance. The court also released photos Friday of Suzanne's bedroom where a shell casing was found and of the tranquilizer dart found in the home's dryer trap. Suzanne's purse was left behind in her car. Evidence shows the purse and all of its contents, including her wallet with cash, her ID, her credit cards, all things investigators say someone would not leave behind.
Yet he has been driving this point home with his girls for so long. The reason I know is because Suzanne's family has spoke out about this for years, almost 3. If she's going to be a gone girl and run off with a boyfriend, she's going to need some cash. Fun to Ski said, wondering if Suzanne still would have DNA under her fingernails. I'm betting so. Seems like he was more worried about the shovels. Who the hell takes the shovels into the hotel?
If they just ran away to start a new life. We're also seeing new photos of Suzanne's bike and helmet. Barry told law enforcement that he believed his wife was out for one of her regular bike rides when something must have happened to her. This is where her bike and her helmet were found in relation to her home. Investigators said they didn't find any evidence of an attack or crash when they found her bike, and you can see the condition that her bike was found in, along with a partial photo of her helmet.
Now, a new judge just took over the case following a conflict of interest with the last judge. Barry Morphew will head back to court next week, and his trial is expected to begin in May.
Nope. Again, this is an old clip, so no trial. They dropped the charges without prejudice. They can pick them back up. And the final piece of this puzzle would be Suzanne. My question has always been, who all was involved? He's got 2 shovels. 2. Doesn't look like one's broke. Not like he's shoveling so heavily that he broke the handle. Somebody else had a shovel. Takes a lot to dig a hole, at least for me. Even in the sand. And when the new documents came out, well, Dateline, old Keith Morrison, he got a couple extra wrinkles on that neck because he was about to shit the bed.
Previously sealed court documents in the murder case of Suzanne Morphew are now available to the public, and they detail Suzanne and her husband Barry Morphew's rocky relationship.
Investigative reporter Quinn Ritzdorf dug through the new records. He joins us in the studio tonight to explain these new developments. Quinn.
Barry Morphew, the man previously accused of killing his wife, Suzanne Morphew, told investigators their relationship was fine, but never before seen text messages from Suzanne tell a different story. He's also been abusive emotionally and physically. This is one of the many text messages Suzanne Morphew sent family and friends before she disappeared. They detail marital issues between her and her husband, Barry Morphew. I'm done. I could care less what you're up to and have been for years. We need to figure this out civilly. Suzanne texted Barry Morphew days before she disappeared. These messages contradict what Barry told investigators, that their marriage was fine. Meanwhile, Suzanne was having an affair, according to the documents. You're the only real love I've known, the only love I want, she messaged her lover. Barry Morphew's attorney had all the text messages sealed in April 2022 because it risked tainting the jury pool.
These these text messages are very damning. And it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Iris, she fought against all of this coming out. She said, you're going to taint the jury pool. Much like with when the 911 calls between OJ and Nicole Brown Simpson, not my OJ, OJ the juice is on the loose, when they were released, I said, you're going to taint the jury. Well, it obviously didn't taint that jury. No. She had been reaching out for a while. And yes, she had a boyfriend. Yes, she did. Now, according to those that know, they said Barry had no idea she had a boyfriend. I don't believe that for a second. He knows way too much about what goes on around the house. He's up her ass sideways. He constantly was contradicting her and second guessing her on simple things. This woman could be sweeping the floor and he would say, why don't you do it this way? He has some big control issues. Annette said someone helped him. I don't know. I just don't know why he had to have 2 shovels with him. Sounds like 2 people were helping bury Suzanne. And we know that she was buried.
These text messages are very damning. And it just continues to raise questions as to why the prosecution decided to dismiss the case.
But Barry could be tried again unless a judge changes the ruling and dismisses the case with prejudice. Lowe says these new messages could keep that from happening.
The prosecution and law enforcement is essentially saying, wait, hold up here. We still think this is the guy who did it. We don't think that you should be dismissing this case with prejudice. And oh, by the way, here's some of the evidence that you and the public doesn't know about yet.
Also, during the hearing Monday, the prosecution claims they know where Suzanne's body is.
I think they're grasping at straws right now. If they know where the body is, go get the body. Quit playing games.
I think they said that to scare old Bear, because they said that they knew where she was and that there was 5 foot of snow under her. Well, come on. In Colorado, or really anywhere on the planet except for Oklahoma, you know how to do snow removal. If you honestly knew where she was, you would have moved the snow, heated up the ground, and started digging. They had no clue what they were going to find last week. They had no clue. They weren't even looking for Suzanne.
Prosecution claims they know where Suzanne's body is.
I think they're grasping at straws right now. If they know where the body is, go get the body. Quit playing games.
Iris E. Tanberry Morphew's attorney declined an interview but continues to say the 11th Judicial District Attorney lacked the evidence to arrest Morphew. 13 Investigates reached out to the 11th DA, Linda Stanley, but we never heard back. Reporting live in the studio, Quinn Ritzdorf, 13 Investigates.
It is crazy and it's calculated. I just have a hard time believing all of this happened in the spur of the moment. This chase around the house with the tranquilizer gun, the burial. I have to say it nicely because we're on YouTube. Let's look more at the tranquilizer gun. Because the shell was found in the dryer. What do they say about when you commit a crime? There's always something you forgot. Not that I plan on doing it. There's no perfect crime.
Morphew's mom and other relatives enter the courtroom in support of Barry for day 2 of his preliminary hearing. Friends and supporters of Suzanne were here as well.
Just
always sweet and nice. But
Justice for Suzanne and her daughters. I feel for them.
In court today, former FBI agent Johnny Grusing testifying that Barry Morphew appeared to go on multiple trash runs the day of Suzanne's disappearance, including throwing things away at an RTD bus stop, a Holiday Inn, a McDonald's, and a Men's Warehouse in the Broomfield area. The agent says Morphew spent about 40 minutes in the Men's Warehouse parking lot alone.
Couldn't explain what he was throwing away.
Telematics data from Barry.
Okay, that's the house. It's not a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. Okay, so him moving around all over the house indicates, according to law enforcement, he was chasing someone. The tranquilizer shell indicates that the tranquilizer in there was spent. And what reminds me a lot of Jennifer Dulos is he was caught on camera at dumpster after dumpster after dumpster after dumpster. What was he throwing away? According to him, it was landscape clippings, where you weren't landscaping along the way.
And a Men's Warehouse in the Broomfield area. The agent says Morphew spent about 40 minutes in the Men's Warehouse parking lot alone.
I've always thought that there was something going on in Broomfield, but now that we know where her remains are, I have extra questions. Sat at the Men's Warehouse? Was he waiting for them to open to buy a suit?
Explain what he was throwing away.
Telematics data from Barry's Ford truck also shows him opening and closing doors at odd hours the day before Suzanne disappeared and moving around his mountain property in the truck. Grusing also says they found a tranquilizer dart cap in the dryer of the Morphew's home. The agent wrote in the arrest affidavit that Barry was most likely chasing Suzanne around while she was conscious, and that's why Barry's phone pinged in different areas around the house.
That evidence doesn't lie.
But the defense poking holes in that theory today in court, showing evidence that his movement would have been impossible because the phone would have had to move through walls and at speeds up to 42 miles per hour to get from one place to the next if the cell records are correct. Also today, the defense introduced evidence suggesting $70,000 was...
Hang on, say that again. Sorry, I missed that, and I've heard this a million times.
Been impossible because...
Jules said, was it body parts? In the dumpster? No, they found her an hour south of where she was last seen.
The phone would have had to move through walls and at speeds up to 42 miles per hour to get from one place to the next if the cell records are correct.
I don't know where they got that science. I don't think old Bear can run 42 miles an hour, so that is just ridiculous. Christina said, I'm interested if they can determine cause of death. Oh, I bet they can. Mary said, oh, Brooks, he was eating in the parking lot, don't you know? For real, and the dude is known to eat going down the road. That's the reason his truck is such a damn trash pit. He's got McDonald's wrappers and all kinds of shit in there. But that day, he decided to take his time and take small, tiny bites and chew properly and let it digest and get down the road 40 minutes later. No.
Also today, the defense introduced evidence suggesting $70,000 was missing from a garage safe at the Morphew home, perhaps suggesting Suzanne took the money and ran away.
My heart goes out to all of them. No matter what was going on in her personal life, if she was murdered, she didn't deserve that.
Unbelievable. And don't forget, day one of that preliminary hearing, evidence coming out that Suzanne was having an affair for 2 years. And there was a recorded conversation on a spy pen that she had apparently purchased because she suspected Barry was cheating on her. So there was trouble at home. There was absolutely some trouble in this marriage. Let's bring back in our think tank, Eklund Mercy, Nima Romani, Kirk Nurmi with us. All right. Has anyone here ever gone on a garbage run where you're disposing of trash over at the McDonald's, Holiday Inn, Men's Warehouse? Anyone? No. The only person I could think of.
Yes, Pat, $70,000 missing out of their safe. My question is, why was that $70,000 in a safe in their home? Suddenly it's missing unless he planned to continue this lie, which is definitely a lie we know now, that Suzanne took the money and ran. What did you do with the money, Barry? Where's the 70,000? You put $1 million up for her reward, which turned out you didn't have $1 million to do. And you seemed confident in that reward. Did he pay someone? Remember, he walked in with 2 shovels.
That ever did that was a guy named Fotis Doulos out of Connecticut. And he has something in common with Barry Morphew.
Ooh, Vinny, I said the same thing. Woo!
His wife disappeared also. And he was seen driving around town disposing of garbage in different places. What's that all about, Nima? Yes,
well,
Fotis.
the defense is, there you go. The defense is going to go with the Bob Durst theory of Gone Girl, that, you know, Suzanne just picked up and disappeared. Well, that's belied by the evidence. And credit to the FBI here. They did an outstanding job. Even though we're on the phone, they got into our iCloud. Obviously, the pickups, GPS, the cell site evidence was fantastic today, as well as got into that spy pen. So they got all this information out during the preliminary hearing. And I remember being on the tank the day that charges were announced, Vinny, and you and I, you know, the district attorney was very, very confident, but she didn't provide any information. So we were sort of speculating as to what sort of evidence would come out, and it really did come out today. I like this case for the prosecution, and I think it's only going to get better for the state and worse for Barry.
You know, Eklund, I have a really cool system at my house with the garbage. What we do is we take it outside, we put it in a big, like, I think you call it like a trash can, right? And then either me or my son is supposed to do it, but we roll it to the curb, and then this big truck comes by, and they take it away for us. We don't have to drive around and drop it off.
Well, you don't know cheap people, Vinny, because if you knew cheap people, you would know that there are ways to circumvent throwing your trash or having to pay to get your trash, thrown out.
Wait,
So,
wait, do we have a shot of the house? Can I show the house to Eklund? Because this house is sprawling.
There are people.
Okay, this chick always takes up for the defendants, and that's fine. Everyone needs a good defense. But she's saying some people are too cheap to throw away their trash. So the day of, see, you guys know how I am. The day that someone disappears, and in this case, murdered, because her remains have been found, it's what we call on this channel an unusual day. Barry could have spent the day with his wife for Mother's Day, but he did not. He checked into the hotel the day before with 2 shovels. He threw things in dumpsters on the way to Denver.
There are people who are just not wanting or not willing to pay to get their trash thrown out.
Yeah,
so
I think they could afford it.
I think they can afford it. But I'm just saying it's not out of the realm for someone to do it, and especially if he doesn't have the habit of doing it. If this is the first time you decide to, scatter the town with your trash, it does seem likely that you have some issues. But if there's no habit of him doing it, yeah, it's an issue.
Kirk, I don't know if you do your own laundry, but have you ever come across a tranquilizer dart in the dryer?
Not yet, Vinny. Not yet. And this evidence, all these disparate pieces of evidence are so strong, as Nima pointed out. And one of the things is that it's so tied together by a motive, right? We have these affairs going on. We have this toxic relationship. All these disparate pieces of evidence that I don't know that can be excused away by being cheap and dumping the garbage are all still going to be tied together by this motive of this affair she was supposedly having, the evidence related to him probably chasing her around the house. It is all going to add together, and Mr. Morphew's legal situation is not a good one, to put it in PG terms.
Yeah, and I'm not sure here, Nima. Maybe do hunters have tranquilizer darts? Like if you're a hunter and you live out in the wilderness, in case a bear comes to get your garbage. Oh, that's right. They don't put the garbage out. They don't have to worry about the bears coming. So he wouldn't need the tranquilizer for that.
Vinny, you've never heard of the famous Alvin and the Chipmunks defense? That, you're going around your property, shooting chipmunks and using tranquilizer darts? I mean, it works every time.
Eklund, are you a little more concerned for Barry Morphew and his tranquilizer?
Oh, yes. But the state still has a lot of question marks to turn into periods. And in cases like this, you have to turn those periods into exclamation points. So it's not enough to just have, firm evidence by itself. It has to tell a story. We need a story. We need a reason why this woman is not here.
Well, it might have something to do with that 2-year affair she was having and wanting to leave Barry, but I'm just taking a wild guess. By the way, this preliminary hearing not over. Take a look, folks. It's going to continue August 23rd and August 24th.
Nope, that's over, Vinny. I gotta put my glasses back on. I was giving my eyes a rest. Giving my eyes a rest. And yes, the tranquilizer is only used for animals. It has been stated he got it from a veterinarian. But if you why would you want to sedate an animal that's on your property? Come on. Some people say it's because he was stealing the antlers. Well, come on. I mean, if that's what they say, that's what they say. Brandywine in True Crime said, in my opinion, Barry had everything to do with it. And another thing about old Bear, he was also a volunteer fireman around there. He had his own burn barrels. So if he had trash he wanted to get rid of, he burned it there. And he would control the fire. Very simple when you live outside of town. Very simple. Now, the girls, this is on Inside Edition, are 100% in their daddy's corner. I imagine after everything they've been told for the last 3 years, hearing that their mother's remains were found yesterday was quite a punch in the gut. I'm sure they are beside themselves. Because they believe their dad, that he has nothing to do with their mother's disappearance. They believe their dad, that their mother just took off on him. And again, another unusual weekend day. The girls were in Idaho camping on Mother's Day. But the girls are 100% on their dad's side. And it's going to be very, very tough on them when all of this plays out.
Just over 3 years since Suzanne Morphew disappeared on Mother's Day, never to be seen again. Her husband was charged with her killing, but those charges were dropped. Now he's speaking with the couple's daughters. Jim Murray reports, however.
Okay, I hate when the media does this. When they say charges were dropped, then you get these assholes that say, well, the charges were dropped. That means he didn't do anything. Dropped without prejudice, meaning they can pick him up anytime. They don't want to start the clock. They want to find more evidence.
Were dropped. Now he's speaking with the couple's daughters. Jim Murray reports, however, a friend of his missing wife believes that he is 100% responsible for what's happened.
They still believe their dad is innocent.
Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of your wife?
Absolutely not. It's been 3 years since Suzanne Morphew disappeared after heading out alone on a Mother's Day bike ride in Colorado in 2020. Her body has still not been found.
I will do whatever it takes to get you back.
In 2021, Barry Morphew was arrested and charged with murder, but the charges were dropped before trial for insufficient evidence. He walked out of court a free man, his overjoyed daughters, Mallory and Macy, by his side. Today, they're telling GMA they're still standing by their dad.
I've never had a shred of doubt. Not one.
But there are many who believe Barry Morphew remains the prime suspect.
We've got to continue to keep her name out there.
The missing mom's friends organized a special Mother's Day tribute to Suzanne over the weekend, urging authorities to keep investigating. Do you believe that Barry Morphew had something to do with his wife's disappearance?
100%. I think because the charges got dropped was because her body has not been discovered. I think that once you get some new eyes in there, I believe it's going to be solved, and I believe he will be rearrested.
Cops say Suzanne was having an affair, and one theory is that Barry may have killed her in a jealous rage. She sent text messages calling him Jekyll and Hyde, telling her husband, "I'm done." But he told GMA this morning all was well.
We had a wonderful life, wonderful marriage.
Was there any indication before she disappeared that something was amiss? No. Did you observe any fights, arguments, disagreements between your mom and your dad that concerned you before? No.
And Morphew is putting forward a new theory about the case, suggesting that his wife, who was battling Hodgkin's lymphoma at the time of her disappearance, was struggling emotionally.
What have these last 3 years been like for you? Very sad. It's literally our worst nightmare. What's been the hardest part? Just not having mom. Yeah.
What a horrible thing to put your daughters through. And not to mention Suzanne. She is a cancer survivor who was going through it again. So when you have cancer appointments with your oncologist, that wouldn't be the time to run out of town and just leave. Leo said, affair or not, you don't kill a person. No, you don't. And I don't think Suzanne ever went on a bike ride that day. I'm exactly with Brandywine. Not at all. No, not at all. I think on the way out of town, someone dumped the bike to make it look like she had a biking accident and was too dumb to realize they can track animals. So much to go through. Let's go through the Good Morning America interview, because it's really, really, Suzanne, I agree. The bike was staged. Common Sense True Crime said, I understand Suzanne was done with her marriage. I don't love that she was having an affair with a married man with 6 kids. No, me either. Me either. I don't know what other people are going through, but that's not, that gives Barry no pass. No pass. And just my opinion, I think that they dropped the charges, as they say, which means they can pick them up anytime, because they were running out of time with the prelim and the upcoming trial. They wanted her body and believed they knew where it was. Whether it's from his phone pings, where he had been visiting after her death, I don't know. Christina said, Brooks, am I right? Her last cell call was with her bestie on Saturday at noontime. That I do not know. I know that she was seen the day before her disappearance eating a sandwich with Barry.
We've been silent for a long time, and we've decided that we finally want to break the silence.
This morning, just days before the second anniversary of her disappearance, the family of Suzanne Morphew is speaking out for the first time since the murder charges against her husband were dropped.
It's been an emotional roller coaster, but we feel like we can finally take our first steps in healing, which is a blessing. And yeah, we just know our dad better than anyone else. And we know he was not involved in our mom's disappearance.
Mallory and Macy Morphew, standing by their father, who investigators believed was responsible for their mother's disappearance 2 years ago. The three, seen walking out of court arm in arm just moments after the charges against him were dropped.
We want to heal. We feel like we haven't been able to heal these past 2 years.
The family says Suzanne left her Colorado home for a bike ride, but never returned.
The thing is, the family can't say she left for a bike ride. There's nothing to confirm that. There's no text message. There's no confirmed phone call saying, I'm taking a bike ride. I'll call you when I get back or anything. There's nothing like that. I believe the bike was planted.
I just love my girls. And I love my wife. And I just want her to be found.
But investigators told a different story, arresting Barry Morphew, the charges ranging from first-degree murder to tampering with physical evidence. Prosecutors argued that Morphew discovered his wife was having an affair, then murdered her, disposed of her body, and staged a bike crash in a rural area. Releasing this body camera footage from the hours after she was reported missing, police saying Morphew touched evidence.
Hey, could you not touch the bike with your hands, please?
Morphew's daughters say he isn't a killer and are celebrating the dismissal of the case, now demanding District Attorney Linda Stanley should do more.
I just hope that Linda will step up to the plate and do everything she can to find our mom, because what they've done is not fair. And we're never going to stop looking for our mom.
Court filings say that while authorities are close to discovering Suzanne's body, weather has complicated the efforts. The location where Suzanne's body is believed to be has 5 feet of snow concealing it. But the family's attorney says authorities have mishandled the case and are planning to file a complaint against the DA.
And if you want to honor Suzanne and you want to honor the daughters, go find Suzanne.
The DA's office telling ABC News they and law enforcement have been diligently searching for Suzanne Morphew since she was reported missing, and that they are continuing to do so.
Prosecutors need to be held responsible, and they need to pay for the damage they've caused to Barry, which is frankly nearly irreparable, because it's hard for anybody to believe that Barry is not who they claim he was.
And it's going to be something else if it turns out Barry had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with his wife's disappearance. Nature Lover said, as far as I remember, they didn't get out and search for their mom. Yeah, I remember that too. I didn't quite understand it, but they were in Idaho when she went missing. Common Sense True Crime said, I wonder if Barry had already started trying to turn the girls against Suzanne. According to the text messages Suzanne was sending to a couple of friends, that's exactly what was going on. That's exactly what was going on. Let's go through some body cam from when they came across the bicycle.
Suzanne? Maybe see if you can get that up to the road and then check the serial number or call the husband and see what kind of bike she has. Somebody chip you, buddy. Can you try to call the husband and see what type of bike she has? Right now I'm staring at a Santa Cruz blue and color. Yeah, because the rim's not going to. I'm just looking at the rim. It's not bent.
Okay, as they're looking the bike over, saying it's not bent or anything, they're trying to get a hold of Barry. Now, if your wife is missing, now he was in Denver when she disappeared, and the girls were in Idaho. So they can't rush right out and try to find her. Hang on. Glass Garden said, Mother's Day fell on a Wednesday. Yeah, that's usually when I go camping. Suspicious. The girls, from what I'm understanding, left on Friday, and Mother's Day is on Sunday.
What is it? Warm call on Jeff. That's a big morning. Yes, maybe. Be careful where you touch it too. Just stay on there. I'm not touch it too much. It makes like. Yeah. Something's up with this front tire. Said something's up with this front tire.
I totally understand what you guys are saying, that they shouldn't touch the bike and everything. They're trained. I'm not. They can piss on this bike. They can set it on fire. It's not going to matter. She didn't have a bike ride, hit her head, and walk 50 miles south and bury herself. But I totally see what you're saying.
Are you?
Okay, so I'm the daughter's boyfriend.
Okay.
And I'm here.
Is this your truck?
That's my truck.
Somebody chip it up. Never mind. I got something here. So you haven't seen the mom at all, have you?
Yep. So the two daughters are gone right now at the moment. The dad is in Denver for a job, and they text her because of Mother's Day, and they haven't heard. The text never went through, like it never delivered since this morning. And she's a big mountain biker. She normally takes her car, and her bike's normally in the back of that. It's gone.
Was
cars
this
here.
open when you came here?
The neighbor was here that opened it, and then she shut it, and she went back to her house. Her house is right over there.
Okay.
And then I came back and I opened it to come in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you looked in the house?
I have. Yep.
All right. You looked through everything?
Yes.
You haven't found her?
No.
Okay. All right. What time did you get here?
6 o'clock, and then I went all.
Okay, this is important. V. Oakley said, who actually found the bike? Law enforcement. Common Sense True Crime, hello, Holly, said, what was the foreign DNA in her vehicle? It came from sex offenders, which I've always wondered if it wasn't planted, because there was a few sex offenders that worked for Barry. Some people say, no, it was mechanics and it was a used car, but that car had been detailed many times. That makes no sense to me.
Are you?
Okay, so I'm the daughter's boyfriend.
Okay.
And I'm here.
Is this your truck?
That's my truck.
Somebody should be having them run. I got something here. So you haven't seen the mom at all, have you?
Yep. So the 2 daughters are gone right now at the moment. The dad is in Denver for a job, and they text her because of Mother's Day, and they haven't heard. The text never went through, like it never delivered since this morning. And she's a big mountain biker. She normally takes her car.
Yeah.
And her bike's normally in the back of that. It's gone.
Was this open when you came here?
The neighbor was here that opened it, and then she shut it, and she went back to her house. Her house is right over there.
Okay.
And then I came back and I opened it to come in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you looked in the house?
I have. Yep.
All right. You looked through everything?
Yes.
You haven't found her?
No.
Okay. All right. What time did you get here?
6 o'clock, and then I went all the way up Frusis. She's road up there, and I just drove the main road. Couldn't find her, and then there's a couple spots that I could check, like trails and stuff. But I wanted to come back here to just like check back in and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has she ever gone up 225?
Colorado Trail right there?
Like, you know, the big hill once you come
Yeah.
off the highway?
Well, she hasn't, and I haven't checked there yet because that climb at the beginning is really hard.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be out of characteristic for her to do that. But I mean, someone needs to go there, I think.
Why would you?
I don't understand why the boyfriend, this is not Suzanne's boyfriend, one of the girls' boyfriends, I don't like to put too much emphasis on the kids, knew so much. Because he knew a lot. Trust me, I am not blaming him. It's just odd to me that he knew so much about, I mean, knowing his girlfriend's on a camping trip with her sister is one thing. Knowing Barry is on a work trip, that's one thing. But knowing where Suzanne bikes is another. I think it's weird. That's just me, though.
Say this, like on camera.
Well, because it's kind of a crazy,
Okay.
it's kind of a crazy climb to get up there. It's like not really rideable. You got to push your bike before you can start riding.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a driver's license on
Yeah.
you?
It's in my truck. And here's my dad pulling up.
That's your dad?
That's my dad right there.
Okay. S211.
Good.
All right, so this is one of the daughter's boyfriend. And he's saying it'd be out of ordinary for her to travel out that way. Where he found the bike.
Wait, where did they find her bike?
The bike's leaning up against the sheriff's vehicle.
Yeah.
Do we know what she was wearing in reference to the jacket?
Do you know what she usually wears when she goes riding?
She has a couple different sets of clothing in terms of what she wears riding, so I'm not sure exactly what she put on today.
Okay, what are some of the outfits she wears?
Blue shorts, like turquoise blue shorts.
Can you pull her up on Instagram in one of her mountain
She has a
biking
blue
pictures?
helmet, which she always wears.
Okay.
A like turquoise blue helmet.
You guys have her bike though.
Yeah, we do.
But not her.
Not her.
Okay.
Where'd you find her bike?
Off of that road that I was asking you about.
Oh,
Why you said it was
in
on
Chavano.
Just right out here on the road.
Right out there. Okay.
Right where you thought.
Where that road takes off up the.
Does she wear any jackets?
She probably would have had.
What kind of jackets does she wear?
I mean, a windbreaker.
A windbreaker.
I don't know what color.
I saw her.
I mean, we don't even know what time she left today.
Yeah.
But they.
Okay, I will rewind in a second. Pat Kay said, did Barry call him to go over? This is interesting because we've heard two stories that Barry got a hold of his daughter's boyfriend and said, go check on the house. The girls can't get a hold of her, get a hold of Suzanne. Can you go check on her? And obviously he did. Then we've heard that one of the daughter's boyfriend's girlfriend, if you know what I mean, called Mr. Boyfriend and said, can you go over and check on my mom? So I don't know which one it is. I really don't.
Road takes off up the.
Did she wear any jackets?
She probably would have had.
What kind of jackets does she wear?
I mean, a windbreaker.
A windbreaker.
I don't know what color.
I saw her.
I mean, we don't even know what time she left today.
Yeah.
But they have cameras.
They have cameras, but they've been out of commission for a while.
Hey, 11, can you get a list of some of the
So her
trails
bike
that
was
she
close to the road?
That way, if we get search and rescue out here, they can focus on those.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. What were some of the other trails you said? She rides up Booses?
Yep, she rides up Booses. Normally when she takes her car, she goes down to the, what's that road called? That's right down at the gate. Goes up to North Fork Lake.
Okay, what about around here? Since she didn't take her car, she clearly left from
So
here.
she would have gone up Booses, I assume, or to the Colorado
No, across
Trail.
you go straight across the
There's
highway.
that
The
trail.
Colorado Trail's right there.
Okay.
So you can go up that ridge there, and that gets on the Colorado.
And did you just let him know about it? Do you live in the area?
No, he dates. Her.
Right.
Yeah.
So he called you and let you know.
Well, we were talking to their daughters on a road trip. We were talking to them down in town.
Okay.
And then I said, yeah, why don't you run up there and see if you can't find her. And so then once he'd been gone a while, I drove up here.
I know this is a weird question, but do Barry and Suzanne get along pretty well?
You can answer honestly.
You know, I think they've had some problems.
Okay.
Yeah, in the past.
Like just normal
husband and wife type.
See, this reminds me of Hunter in the Summer Wells case. He knows way too much over the ins and outs of their marriage. No puns intended. I mean, he's basically explaining what goes on, much like Hunter, unless he's just trying to give him answers he doesn't have. We know how kids are.
Do they like talk about separating or anything
They
like
have,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
I would, yeah.
And you know this through
Macy.
Yeah, I'm very close with her.
Yeah, it's
daughter.
important that you
I know.
tell him anything that you know like that.
Yeah, and he is in Denver for a work job. He's a landscaper, and he's got a big job in Denver. So that's where he is at right now.
Okay.
And Macy and the older sister Mallory are on a road trip. Where are they? Where is it? Where's the bike?
Oh, it's right there.
Where was it?
It was like just right down here in this little embankment. Right here. So, it's like if you see, we got the husband on scene here with me.
I'm here with my daughter. She's at Barry's house.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you can go down there.
Was it a crash?
I mean, the bike looked, the way it was laid, it kind of looked like it, but there's not really.
Okay, when they found the bike, it was daylight. Now, from Denver to Salatis, it's 100 miles. So basically 2 hours. Okay? But it's dark now. So I don't know exactly what time they called him. All I'm saying about Mr. Boyfriend is it's never been verified who called him to go over and check. Barry said he did. The daughter said she did. So I don't know. I don't know. But I would think I would be there before the sun set looking for my wife. That's never made sense to me. from when he got the call that his girls couldn't get a hold of Suzanne to when he got back, and he did not need to be in Denver on Sunday. Nobody is speculating on Mr. Boyfriend. Just sometimes when people give too much information, it makes us wonder, how much do you know? Because if the girlfriend is telling him there's problems between mom and dad, then why didn't they offer that to the police, except for to protect their dad? I don't know.
Job and damage. That's where he is at right now.
Okay. And Macy and the older sister Mallory are on a road trip. Where are they?
Where is it? Where's the bike?
Oh, it's right there.
Where was it?
It was like just right down here in this little embankment right here.
Okay, now listen to Barry. Listen to Barry and listen to his demeanor when they say we found the bike down there. He doesn't ask about Suzanne at this point. Alicia P. said the girls lied to police at Brooks. That's what I've heard. I'm trying to keep everything away from the girls and the boyfriend. I really am. Okay, watch old Bear when he gets there.
Where is it? Where's the bike?
Oh, it's right there.
Where was it?
It was like just right down here in this little embankment right here. So I took this, dude. I got the husband on the scene here with me.
I'm here with my daughter. She's at Gary's house.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can go down there.
Was it a crash?
I mean, the bike looked, the way it was laid, it kind of looked like it, but there's not really that much damage to the bike. That's the thing.
Lion?
Yeah, it was just like
Was
lying.
there no lion? Mountain lion?
I didn't see anything that would
I didn't see anything, and they're not letting us go over the side
because we're getting a track
dogs. We're bringing dogs.
just right down in here.
Do you know where my husband and son are?
They
Yeah.
probably went down to Puma.
Yeah,
Down
so-
to the house. My house.
And Bear, just I know this is tough right now. Do you mind if I just get a driver's license for our report stuff? Search and rescue's on their way. Hey Barry, and then I'll probably need your help to kind of tell me some of the trails that she frequents, so we can backtrack some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Oh man. And she's an avid mountain biker, right?
They just started about. She's been there.
And just for confirmation, you left this morning at 5.
She was around the school.
Okay. And she told you she was gonna go bike riding?
She bikes every day, yeah.
Okay.
She said she's gonna bike when she gets up.
So she was asleep in the bed when you left. Did you say bye to her or anything?
No, she's sound asleep.
Okay.
Always leave her.
So the last time you probably actually saw her was this morning. That was it, right?
Yeah, I've been in Denver. I got a big job up there. I've been there all day. Really. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is one of his many lies. I've got a big job up there. I've been there all day. Not according to when he checked into the hotel with the 2 shovels. And also, he couldn't do the job on Sunday. He couldn't do the job on Sunday. Also, it has come out over the last 3 years that he encouraged the girls, him and Suzanne's daughters, to go on this camping trip in Idaho. He wanted to make sure they were way, way, way away. Vero said, Brooks, wow, he didn't ask for Suzanne. You're right. No, he didn't. Oh, that's her bike. And he's shown him identification. It's not an airport, asshole. You're not 18 trying to buy beer. They know who you are.
No, it's all good, man. We're doing the best. We got
Did
a
they
lot of
check
people
the house?
coming.
Did they,
Yeah.
They looked through the house?
Yeah, they got the house, and what we're doing is we're keeping people out of the house because if the dog comes, they want to get a scent from out of the house.
Yeah.
So they don't want to pollute that scent. So that way we can start trying. And I walked up this
like I said, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Nothing looked like.
I wonder if she was hurt. If she could climb up the hill.
But that's the thing. When we came here, still was daylight, right? So if she was right here, somebody would have easily, you know what I mean? Just because it was like literally like right down. It was this. I mean, if we saw it coming in, somebody would have definitely seen it too, you know? Hey, how's it going, man?
Do you want us to stage down at that residence or?
So hold on, let me get this in and I'll get right with you.
Okay, no worries.
Hey, Barry. Besides, I know the bike was here, but what are some of the paths that, or like the trails? Like
She rides this road. She rides up to the top, and then she goes up to Foose's.
Okay,
if there's no snow, she'll go up high on Foose's. She's went down this one a couple of times.
Down this one here too?
Yeah.
Okay. So double check Foose's over there too, because I think
Well,
more than
see,
Miles. I
bikes-
think Miles. Yeah, I know. We just want to double check everything. So yeah.
Did anybody look for foot tracks on the road?
I haven't seen anything really, but
Like people tracks near Lion?
I didn't really notice, but I won't lie, I'm not like an expert tracker or something, you know. Yeah, so my partner is actually the one that saw and picked it up, but it was like the top of it was weird because it feels like the top of the bike was like up this way.
So maybe flipped.
Maybe, I don't know, man.
But the problem is, go ahead. What's the thing about 4 o'clock in the morning? Was that somebody on the phone?
5 o'clock. Oh yeah, so we pinged the phone and it said the last activity was at 4 in the morning.
Up here?
It's off of the Ponzi Tower. So there's not any specific order. Hey, could you not touch the bike with your hands, please?
Hey guys!
That's the hard news. Because I've been wearing gloves, I've been trying not to. So.
Put it in here. Can you fit it in your car?
No, but I could try to. My car is with the back is filled with tag here and everything. Okay. Yeah, and the bike was found right there. See that little pink thing right in there. And you could see it on our initial body camera too when we found it right over there, right there by like a tree. So I didn't seem to like distraught. He's kind of like going back and like, why did they check the? I'm like, you know, we're trying to do the best we can. And this guy, I guess his name's. He showed up on his own. I guess Barry. Hey Barry, are you guys? Are you where are you guys headed? Okay. Here soon. I'm gonna probably have you come and talk with us more.
Okay. They said a name, but I don't know what it is. Somebody showed up to the house fast. I'm gonna assume.
Hey Barry,
it's the boyfriend.
Are you guys? Are you where are you guys headed? Okay. Here soon. I'm gonna probably have you come and talk with us more. All right. Thanks, man.
And sir, when we go inside, we just go directly to where something that she's worn today, and let's not touch anything just for in case. Okay. Is this unlocked?
Yes.
Which way would that be? This way? Let me touch anything down there. These are all hers right here? Yeah. Have you got a plastic bag? Yeah. Or a paper bag?
I'd say the sports bra is probably good.
and then it's direct contact with the skin. No, we should just be fine with one. How do you turn on the exterior lights? Which light switch is it? All of them, Dale?
Yes, you are scared.
Thank you. Hey, Anthony. Can I speak to you over there once we get back? Yeah. Right there. So do you realize what you have, like the shorts? Yeah, those are for mountain biking. Yeah, like the padded shorts.
Okay, hang on. I want to hear what he said.
Right there. So do you realize what you have, like the shorts? Yeah, those are for mountain biking. Yeah, like the padded shorts. Yeah, yeah. So that I'm curious.
Yeah, I saw that they were bike shorts.
Yeah.
Okay, so they found her biking shorts. DT asked, was the bike damaged at all? Nope, not at all. Not at all. I believe everything that they found that day was planted. I believe it was staged. 100%. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. It was staged. And now she's found 50 miles south of their home. Petty Kitty said, I think he planted it all and staged it. Yep. Staged to the max. The question is who? Who? This is Suzanne's sister speaking with Chris McDonough. I just broke my own rule. I mentioned another creator, but sometimes I have to give credit. You know where to find him, the interview room. Listen to a little bit of what Suzanne's sister said.
College, I believe, in Gunnison, and would have been probably a sophomore, finishing her sophomore year in 2018. And I know they missed Mallory a lot, and Macy missed her sister a lot. And I get all that, And I know that, Barry being the hunter and outdoorsman, and they all love Colorado when they visit Mallory. But they always had an expectation they would go west probably when Barry retired. And I think Suzanne accepted that was going to be part of their life. But this seemed very sudden to me, very, very sudden. And I do recall saying to her that I just thought it was so sudden. I said, I just don't understand. Macy was still in school. And she said, well, you know, we love it. We miss Mallory, and we've always wanted, we need a change. And I said, well, I understand that, you know, and I wanted to respect my sister's opinion to do as she wants. She's an adult, you know, even though at times I think as her older sister, I should have treated her now in hindsight with a lot more respect and regard for her opinions instead of being the bossy older sister. I do have some regrets there. So, but we were, you know, we were starting a new relationship, building a little new foundation, and I tried to be excited for her. But on the same token, she did share with me something of a personal nature, some concern about her marriage to Barry, some suspicions she had, strong suspicions. And I cautioned her strongly as her sister that if there are problems in Indiana, there'll be problems in Colorado. You will just take it with you, you know.
Yeah, a leopard doesn't lose its spots, right?
Exactly. And I do recall saying to her, think long and hard about this decision, because I said to her, you're leaving your support system. You're leaving familiarity. Everything you know that you can fall back on, you're giving up to go there. And I felt a real check in my heart about it. I did. But on the other hand, I didn't want to rain on her parade. She was excited about it, you know, and I've lived in Portland, Oregon for 19 years, and it's exciting to make a big move. It is exciting, a new adventure, you know. And sometimes, you know, I think in life we think we'll hit the reset button. You know, it's like hitting a big fat reset button and everything will just restart and we'll be good to go, you know. And that's kind of the hopefulness I guess I felt from her that day. I did say to her cautionarily, I asked her if she would be willing to go talk to her elders at church. I said, you know, Suzanne, you've been a member there for many, many years. That's what they're there for guidance, spiritual guidance. And I said, would you consider doing that? And her reaction was, if Barry found out, he'd be furious. So that was the end of that discussion. So they went ahead and made that move in May of that year. And we'd had that, I believe that was about February. I'm thinking February of 2018, she and I'd had that conversation, and they went ahead and left in May. So I supported her, you know, as her sister. But I had my a little bit of deep concern.
Sure.
Yeah.
Once they made the move out to Colorado, did Suzanne talk with you more about how their relationship, if things had gotten any better, if they were starting to potentially get worse at that point? Did she open up to you once they were there about their relationship?
Unfortunately, no, she didn't. And again,
oh, speaking of other creators, Gonzo is in, and Gonzo has done amazing work on the Suzanne Morphew case and others. Let's welcome Gonzo and grab the link if you have time. I'm sure yesterday was huge news for you.
No, unfortunately, she didn't. However, I do know that she was attending some recovery meetings, some Al-Anon meetings there in Salida. I had encouraged her in Indiana to go that journey because she had struggled with some unforgiveness towards my dad. And so I guess it was 2016 or 17, she'd done some work here there in Indiana, in Al-Anon, and told me she was going
she was the youngest one.
Yes, the baby.
So she would be called the peacemaker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that program, typically the youngest take on the role of no conflict. Okay. Yeah. And they want to get in between everybody and tie all the pieces together so that everybody is in harmony with each other. And the Al-Anon program is an amazing program for folks to tie those pieces together.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but
Okay.
that I apologize. But at the same time, I'm hearing what I'm learning and hearing here is her personality is just one of no guile.
Right. Right.
She has no guile.
Right.
So with, folks like that and women like that, it's, they're the peacemakers. They want to fix everything. Don't worry, Melinda, I can fix it. I can keep it moving, and Barry on the other side of this, part of, his makeup obviously is, the control mechanisms evident of the fact that you're giving her counsel as her older sister. You're following your gut to say to her, look, go to the church, go talk to your pastors, and then really measure this. If you think there are suspicions and or situations taking place, what's interesting about that is there's a paradigm shift, and in her thought process in totality that she shares with you, and that was that he would be enraged or fear. How did she describe it?
Furious. She said he'd be furious.
Yeah. So she knew that in the big picture that would be a trigger to potentially his secret life, as what we call it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So kind of unpack that a little bit more. When you heard that from your perspective, what did you say? I mean, how did you handle that?
Are you speaking about when she said he would be furious?
Yeah, if you remember.
I said, well, he may well be, but I said, these are the people appointed to help you through these difficulties. I kept pressing the fact that that's the point. That's what they're there for. And, so let him be furious. But if your problem is the problem, address it. But there again, being passive, non-confrontational, we don't want a problem and we're just going to go along to get along. And that was her temperament, that was her temperament. And I do believe, she knew that if that happened, she just didn't want to face Barry's anger. That's all.
Yeah.
Or conflict.
Yeah. And that takeaway, obviously, from a woman's perspective, and my sweetheart will tell you all the time, you girls are never wrong, right? I mean, you're what do you always say?
It's the sixth sense.
Huh?
It's the sixth sense. We know.
Yeah, we know. Right.
We know. Women know. We know.
And now, if your sister said something like that, whoops, oh
no,
she just dropped her speaker. That's okay. She'll get it here in a second. Hang on. She's right down. Okay, it's right down there. So I love the green screen too. By the way, everybody. Hi.
Sorry, everybody.
So in your conversations with her during that transition time to Colorado?
No, I didn't. In fact, I didn't have that many conversations with her. And sometimes, I will say this, that my experience with Suzanne was when we got a little too close to home with some reality, she'd pull back. She'd pull back, and she would, maybe pull away for a while. And that was just her little passive aggressive way. That was just one of her little quirks. And you get a little too close, she just whoop. So I was always tried to be very measured, very careful how I said things to her, so I didn't frighten her off, but plant a seed nonetheless, just plant a little seed, right? And hope that it'll stick somehow. But I think at that time she had made up her mind that she was going to go through with this. And I think she allowed the excitement of the new adventure to carry her forward, honestly. I do believe that. And I think that at the time, I think she was personally She had some issues with my dad. And I
Sure.
think that at the time, that move seemed very attractive because it got her, gave her some distance, gave
Sure.
her some distance. And so I think that was something else that kind of motivated her.
Does anyone, and this is just a conversation, think that maybe she was going to Al-Anon meetings, not so much about her father and their upbringing, but control issues with Barry? And Mystic, I don't know why you're in here arguing. I mean, you know the rules. If you don't like what someone in chat is saying, then just scroll and roll. Let it just come right by you. That's all you have to do. That's it. There's no reason to disrupt a chat over your own opinion. Wolfie said highly possible. Sarah said yes. Absolutely. Well, husbands, partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, what sometimes goes on in these relationships leads to murder. And we've seen it time and time again. Here's a small snippet of it. Tale as old as time. Tale as old as time. And as we know, women are more victims than men. Kind of tough to beat up on the old boy that can take you down in 2 seconds. They're a lot bigger than us. All right, this is one of the latest headlines about how they identified her body.
One of Colorado's biggest missing persons cases. Suzanne Morphew's body has been found. That's according to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. Good evening, I'm Karen Lee.
And I'm Kelly Worthman in for Michael Spencer. Morphew disappeared on Mother's Day back in 2020. Her husband, Barry Morphew, was initially charged with her murder, but those charges were later dropped.
Investigators found Morphew's remains near the town of Moffett, 30 minutes south of Salida. Your Mountain Newsroom reporter.
Hang on, I gotta see something. All right. Let's look at this.
Investigators found Morphew's remains near the town of Moffett, 30 minutes south of Salida. Your Mountain Newsroom reporter Spencer Wilson joins us live now from Moffett. And Spencer, investigators found Morphew almost by chance, they say.
That's right. They told us they weren't even actually looking for Suzanne when they found her body out there. They were looking for something completely different. But results from the El Paso County Coroner's Office did come back positive today. They said that it is Suzanne's body. Now, I also confirmed with the coroner's office that it was dental records. They were able to match her identity and confirm that identity. But aside from that, CBI is not saying a specific location of where they found her or what condition her body was in. Crews were searching around a week ago, but they've spent that time confirming that it is truly her. As of tonight, no one else has been arrested in connection with her murder. Her husband, Barry Morphew, is now suing multiple law enforcement agencies within the town of Salida and nearby within their counties for $15 million after he says he was wrongfully charged in Morphew's disappearance. Now, the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office declined an interview with us tonight, but said in a statement, although locating Suzanne's remains is a critical component of this investigation and for her family, we are left with many more questions than answers. We will keep searching for answers for you guys tonight and bring you what we learn. Live in Moffett, Spencer Wilson, covering.
So, dental records. Let's listen to this again.
In for Michael Spencer. Morphew disappeared on Mother's Day back in 2020. Her husband, Barry Morphew, was initially charged with her murder, but those charges were later dropped.
Investigators found Morphew's remains near the town of Moffett, 30 minutes south of Salida. Your Mountain Newsroom reporter Spencer Wilson joins us live now from Moffett. And Spencer, investigators found Morphew almost by chance, they say.
That's right. They told us they weren't even actually looking for Suzanne when they found her body out there. They're looking for something completely different.
Well, hello, you old stranger. How are you doing? You there? Can you hear us, Gonzo? It shows you're fully connected. Oh, Gonzo. I'm trying to find the chemo port because I heard about it this morning, but I can't find it verified anywhere.
But results from the El Paso County Coroner's Office did come back positive today. They said that it is Suzanne's body. Now, I also confirmed with the Coroner's Office that it was dental records. They were able to match her identity and confirm that identity. But aside from that, CI is not saying.
Hey, what's up, Gonzo?
What's going on, Brooks? How are you?
Oh, pretty good. How are you? You've been working hard.
Oh gosh, it's been interesting. Last couple days, it's been interesting out here. I'm in Colorado now, but I'm not in the area. I'm not in Sawa County. We'll just say that.
So, what's the word on the street with Suzanne?
Well, we all got the news. She was found in a shallow grave. Investigators are saying that they were looking for something else and kind of happened upon this spot. That's kind of what we know right now. This was Saturday, 22nd. I'm not really good with dates right now. But yeah, it's been wild. We were, looking for confirmation, and they got it finally, and the news broke yesterday, and everything's been kind of moving from there. So I'm actually heading south right now. Things are moving. That's all I know.
Well, what are your thoughts? I mean, who do you think is responsible? Multiple people? Just her husband, not her husband at all?
Sure. I've been on both sides of that. A lot of, in all my travels to Salida, to Maysville, I've gotten the chance to meet a lot of these people in person. So I got a kind of a different vantage point on everything, but, I don't want to say too much there, but I really believe Barry had some people that were in this area, in the Sawa County area, Moffett area, that were really close to him. And I believe that there might have been some foul play there. And, while he was making some tracks up north and east and west to Broomfield, up near the mines around Salida and Maysville area on telematics, I believe something was heading south. And this area has been really, really important to me because I followed the Love Has Won cult down there with Mother God. That cult came to a head in 2021 with Mother God's death,
and that was investigated down there in this exact spot, a stone's throw away from where Suzanne was found. Not saying that that has any connection, but that case there brought me down to that area many times, and I just really think it's an important area to keep an eye on right now. I think that there could be a couple scenarios that worked into things that play into people that had connections with Barry. I don't want to go out and just say, I think this guy did it and this person did it, but those are things that I can tell you right now. And that the Saguache County Moffett area has been on the radar for a long time. And we got a lot of search areas over there, from other cases as well. And I do believe law enforcement was looking for something somewhere. I just don't know that they...
Okay, he'll reconnect. Thank you so much, Pat K, for the super sticker. Alicia said, yes at Gonzo. Yes at Gonzo.
Sorry, Brooks.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine, Gonzo.
Yeah. Sorry, I was kind of rambling there, but yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. That's for sure.
Well, you have a lot going on. You've been following this since day one, and you've been boots on the ground.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's a heavy energy right now. I'm sending my best to Melinda and Suzanne's brother. I mean, I've had conversations with Andy, and I always wanted to keep it respectful. I left a lot of things off YouTube for, out of respect for Andy and Melinda. But yeah, we've never taken a moment off with this case, and we've always had an idea that Suzanne's still calling the shots. Yesterday, just kind of proves that, and I think we're just one step closer to justice here. We get a lot of truth out of this. Justice comes following, shortly. I hope.
Kelly said, Gonzo, do you talk to Tyler? If you can answer. If you can't, don't answer.
She's probably saying Tyson. Tyson Draper.
Okay, sorry.
Is my guess. I haven't talked to Tyson in a few months. I talked to Dusty, actually, his brother, if that's who we're talking about. The Draper brothers did a lot of boots on the ground stuff. Tyson was out many times. He's probably out there, several times in the beginning, and I've, met him out there. Tyson's a good guy. His heart's in the right place. I hope he's doing well. He's done a lot. But no, I haven't talked to Tyson in a couple months. It's been a little while, actually.
No, I think her autocorrect came on. I should have said Tyson. That's my fault.
No problem. Yeah. Like I said, I've been really a fan of these creators who've kept Suzanne's name in the light and, went about it with tact and respect for Suzanne's family and surviving family and friends. I think the best thing we can do out here is just deal in the facts and push forward. We're going to get the truth one day, and I think yesterday was a positive step in that direction, and I'm here for it. Salida, the Maysville area, the community, and a lot of the friends and people I've met in and around this case, I want to do good things and tactful and respectful investigation work for them, and that's kind of the approach I've taken, and it's always worked for me. So that's why I come say hi to Brooks every once in a while. I think you're doing it right, and I always respect what you're doing. So it's good to be here.
I stick with the facts and sometimes say, well, this is what I think, or, it looks this way to me.
Sure.
But there's no reason to muddy the water. Law enforcement has a hard enough job.
Absolutely. Yep. 100%. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think just respectful, tactful reporting, dealing with facts, and getting the news out there, and really just making a positive difference in this true crime community. I always say this community's dark. It's built on dark things, and if we can be positive beacons of light, whether it's, as a creator, as a person that can get out to these cases, we'll just do our little part in something big and try to help out where we can. And I'm respectful for, I have a lot of respect for a lot of the people that have been here and their heart's been in the right place. And let's let Suzanne pull her magic. I think she's pulling this one together, and we still got a long way to go.
She wanted to be found.
Yes, I felt that from the beginning, and I've got probably, I don't know how many man hours out in spreading 3 different states. I mean, from Colorado, Oklahoma to Indiana. I mean, I've got a lot of time invested in this. My heart is with the family right now, and all we can do is just spread positivity and do what we can do to help out. And that's doing our part.
And it's hard to be positive when you're talking about something so grim. We very rarely come on with good news.
That's true. That's true. I mean, good news is hard to find in this community. Yesterday was a big deal. Last couple of days has been a big deal in Colorado. A lot of these cases are getting some movement. I'm just hoping, the right people are doing the right things. And I really hope forensically they can put this thing, in the green. They can dot the I's and cross the T's and do everything correctly to bring, whatever justice we can do, we can bring to this case. And I really believe that will happen. It's just another chapter. We got to get there. We got to put one foot in front of the other right now. So,
well, they have the biggest piece of the puzzle in that is Suzanne. Sorry, I have a cold.
Oh, you're fine. I understand.
They have the biggest piece of the puzzle, and I get so nervous when DAs get anxious from public pressure, social media, and they want to push forward without a body.
Sure.
Because I mean, just like the case in California today, Cal City.
Yep. Orrin and Orson, same thing. Yeah, that was my big fear too. That's been the biggest uphill battle in Colorado, and what I've been crawling through is, it's not a needle in a haystack. It's not a pebble in a rock pile. It's the rock pile is spreads county-wide. I mean, statewide. Finding a body in Colorado is nearly impossible, especially if the group or crew or persons responsible have equipment and ways and means of getting something like that done. So just getting something is huge. And I think we got to work with what we got. And I think they have enough to kind of go forward. Let's see where that goes. But I'm with you. This was a big step in the right direction.
And the way they came across her.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit puzzled by what they were looking for when they happened to cross Suzanne's remains in the shallow grave situation. I've been to that spot and in that area many times. I won't say we stepped over it, but I'll say I don't rule out that maybe that, those remains could have been planted there. Like I said, I'm not ruling out the activity of the cult. That was a really big deal in 2021 and 2020, if people remember. I'm not ruling out that somebody didn't put those remains there knowing that there was cult activity in the area. And that's just something to think about. I think we got to cover all the bases here and just really keep an open mind. I'm not trying to put that in the public's mind too much. I'm just saying just remember that. And it's been interesting. The area is interesting to me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, every news article I have come across said that they identified her by dental records. But I see a lot of people in chat saying the serial number from her cancer port is how they identified her.
Yeah.
You can't find anything to verify that. And like I said, we deal with facts here. I can say that she disappeared in a tutu and they found her in a tutu.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I won't back that either way. I'm leaning towards the dental records. I'm leaning towards that. I think I've heard somewhere that you can find cancer cells or cancer in teeth. I'm not really sure how that works, but I guess let's just hope they got the right.
Well, dental records are 100%,
For sure. Yeah.
So that's all I can find. And I've been working on this since before the show that we had this morning. And that's all I can find. I've never found anything that said serial number from a cancer port. What I did read is that her cancer port was taken out 3 weeks earlier.
Yes. That, to my knowledge, that's correct, but I could be wrong. I can't remember.
Okay, Ozzy said it was on CBS article.
That sounds right.
Okay.
I can't verify that either way, but like I said, I just hope they're doing everything right. They got another shot at doing everything correct in this case. This is kind of, square one again, right? A lot of these old theories can pop up now. Let's just hope they're doing everything correct and dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And being in another county, not in Chaffee County, that could be a very good thing for this case, being that she was found in Sawa County.
Well, the thing is, and as you've seen in other cases, when they find the body, they're back to square one.
Yep.
They have to go back through every interview, every piece of evidence, everything they have, because this changes everything when you have the actual victim.
That's 100% truth. Yeah. And there we go. I mean, I'm looking for this case to blow up in the public's eye again. I'd say just buckle up. It's gonna get pretty wild here for a bit going forward. Let's just hope they get what they need and they protect evidence and they conserve everything, and they only got one shot at this thing at this point, in my opinion. And let's hope they keep it tight. That's all we can hope. As casual onlookers, I got a little skin in the game just because I go to the area so much, but as being a representative of YouTube true crime community, and I can get there and help out on these things, I feel like it's paramount to just do it right the first time. And we do got a shot at this now, so that's the silver lining I'm seeing right now.
Oh, and guys, I'm not arguing about the cancer port. I'm just saying I haven't seen it for myself.
Sure.
What I read was that she didn't have her port, that she was in remission. If that's the case, that's the case. That's wonderful because she's been identified.
Yes.
How she was identified, she's been identified. That's the most important.
Yeah, they wouldn't just throw that out there haphazardly if they hadn't double checked and triple checked that situation. So I'm with you there. I get it. I know what you're saying.
No, I wasn't trying to argue with anyone. I was just saying that's what I have read today.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, like I said, they've got something to work with. Let's hope everything gets, in the right hands, and they do their due diligence, and they, do it right. That's all we can hope for. And we can help out on our end as creators, as, people that really care about Suzanne and justice for Suzanne. So that's where I stand.
Christina said, I really don't care how they identified, just so happy and sad they found her.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's mixed. It's mixed feelings right now. I mean, it's a heavy couple days. Suzanne's captured our hearts, and I do believe that she knows, she knows the story. She knows how to tell the story, and I think she's doing it in her time. And all we can do as people that really care and want to help is just deal with the facts and try to help out where we can, and trust the process. And it's going to happen. I have nothing but good faith for Suzanne's story at the end of this. And yesterday was a big day.
Huge day. And thank you for all of your work. Thank you for being such a friend of this channel and just doing what you do.
No, thank you guys. I mean, I stop in every once in a while, and I always check you out and check in, and I thank you for always giving me a platform. A lot of times I'm usually driving or I'm out at another case, and you've always given me a chance to come on and chat with you and bring what I have. And like I said, I'm with you guys. I'm in shock. I'm sad, I'm grieving, but I'm also being optimistic and positive that things are moving in the right directions. Some of my theories are kind of coming back up, and things are moving on my end, on the things that my group and I work with pertaining to the Morphew case. And I hope to be able to share more of that later on. Right now, I'm just 100% respect to you guys, the true love and support for Suzanne and Andy and Melinda, and let's just be a champion for Suzanne right now and do the right things. So I appreciate you, Brooks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for being here, my friend. Send me an email when you get to a spot where you can.
I sure will. Yes. And thanks for the chat, and thanks for everybody who said kind things. I plan to be around. If you guys need anything, you know where to find me.
Yeah, because some of these comments I'm seeing, they're like, could Nicole Kessinger have done it? And I'm like, what?
It was a long way from Nikki, but Colorado's crazy. You can't put anything past the state of Colorado. No, I doubt that one, but I just think the area where she was found is super important, and it's been on our radar for a little while for multiple reasons, and we got to keep looking into it.
All right, I'm going to share your channel in here real quick.
Thanks, Brooks. I don't post a lot right now, but I plan on doing some things for Suzanne and some of these other cases that my small team has been working on. We've traveled to a lot of cases and put eyes and ears and on things and met a lot of people along the way. And we're going to continue to do that. So that's all we can do. Positivity and light and deal with that. And that's all we can do to help. And I'm here to help. So
as much as we can try to be positive or make light of certain situations, it's tough.
It's very tough. You're right.
But Suzanne is going to get her justice, and all we want is the truth.
That's it. That's
the
it.
truth. Because what we think, what we speculate, doesn't amount to a hill of beans.
That's it. You're right. I mean, truth is followed very abruptly by justice in most cases, and we've got some truth here. We've got to continue dealing with it and work with the facts and hope that the right people are doing the right things in this investigation, and we're going to get our answers. So
all right, well, you keep on keeping on, my friend, and I look forward to your email.
Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye, hon.
See ya. What
a good treat. We only hear from Gonzo every now and then. It's so amazing to hear from him. Let's have a round of applause for Gonzo because he's still listening. Yeah, he catches a lot of hell, and he shouldn't at all. But, we see it with creators all the time, but just not the right creators. We're all here for the good fight, and we're on the side of the right. And I don't mean your political beliefs. We want the truth. The truth. We had a huge truth yesterday. Suzanne's remains were found. How they got there, I don't know. All I can do is give my opinion and speculate because I don't have a badge. I say every day, I shouldn't say every day, often on the show, do you know how many crimes I've solved? Take your index finger, the tip of it, and touch it to the tip of your thumb. 0. You know how many warrants I've gotten? 0. Subpoenas? 0. Tire tracks I've molded? 0. Fingerprints? 0. DNA I've analyzed? 0. Breaking news? 0. But you're in good hands. Always. Well, you guys are the best, and this has been a great show. And I will see you back here tomorrow. We have a big members live. And I mean a big one. You guys are going to be really surprised of what's going on tomorrow. JPL said, on the side of truth and justice, Suzanne was screaming from below, please find me so we can go after Barry. That could be. That could be. That could be. Whew. You never know, but I tell you what, I could not believe they found her yesterday. I really could not believe it. Check the community tab after this, and you can find the members live for tomorrow. And if I don't see you on the members live, I'll see you on the members live on Sunday. We're doing another Super Soul Sunday. We have a lot going on, my friends. These criminals need to calm down. We have too much work going on. It's getting in the way of other things I want to do. Bamboo Cat said, thank you, Brooks. Thank you to you, Bamboo. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here. I understand this case has been going on for over 3 years, but you're still invested. You still want justice for Suzanne. You guys are the absolute best. I mean it. You are the best community and the best chat on YouTube. Don't let anyone tell you any different, because then I will go troll their chat, because I know you guys are the best. I'll see you tomorrow morning.